Getting ready for bed at a regular time is one of the most important habits you can learn.
Who you gonna call?
Ghostbusters! Jason was my son, and today is his birthday.
Oh, Lori, scared another one away.
What's your favorite scary movie?
Sorry, Jack. Chucky's back.
We are counselors at Hackett's Quarry Summer Camp. There is a swarm of bears.
You're gonna need a bigger boat.
I'm your boyfriend now, Nancy.
Glenn! No! Glenn! Somebody help me, please!
Most people are so ungrateful to be alive, but not you.
It's showtime.
Hello, and welcome back to another wonderful episode of the Scream Stream. We're on episode 7 now, and today's fabulous and very festive episode, we're going to continue the month of December and the continuation of our favorite Christmas horror movies. And we're going to talk about one of my personal favorites. I mean, Krampus from last week, I absolutely love that movie. Don't get me wrong. But as a Christmas horror movie I grew up on, that I absolutely adore, it would have to be Gremlins. I've learned a lot of information rewatching this movie and delving more into it. Because there's certain things about this movie that I had problems really remembering. Because, to be honest, it's been a couple of years since I've seen Gremlins. I used to, when I was a kid, every Christmas, about Christmas Eve, maybe a couple of days before Christmas, watch this particular movie. But for some reason, these last, I think 2-3 years, I just haven't been able to put it on. I guess, because unfortunately, I don't have an actual hard copy of it. I want a hard copy, don't get me wrong. I want a hard copy, but I don't have a hard copy of it, so I always have to find it streaming somewhere, and unfortunately, it's cost a pretty fucking penny to rent it and shit. But let's go ahead and dive straight on into this. Gremlins from 1984. And I have to state that because apparently there is a Gremlins movie that came out in 2017. I found it on YouTube. It's some kind of indie B-rated movie. I have no idea what it is. We'll have to figure it out. But, I'm sorry, that blew my mind. I was looking up, where to watch it at and everything. And apparently that movie popped up. So I kind of am curious because there's a lot of positive comments about that movie. But let's talk about the 84 version. Hold on one second. Let me turn this down. Okay, there we go. Sorry, I noticed my mic was a little loud. Okay, so Gremlins was directed by Joe Dante, who we all know over the years. He did the Twilight Zone movie, Inner Space Explorers, of course, Piranha. He did that. I think that was his first feature film. I'm not quite sure. But basically, Joe Dante, I think he said he was in... What was he doing before he was a director? I just learned this information too. But basically, he wasn't always a director. This was kind of more of his big break in the movie industry. I want to say this was a pretty big break for a lot of people, especially working under Steven Spielberg, who was the producer of this movie. We have big names, by the way. Big name. A lot of big, well-known names, but I think this was more of their big breaks on this. We had Zach Galligan, who plays Billy. Funny enough, I know I probably talked about this movie a couple of times beforehand, but Billy, the guy who plays Billy, Zach Galligan, he's in a movie called Bad Candy. And the reason why I know this is because I watched Bad Candy about a year or so back with my boyfriend, and that's the movie I talk about, the whole Roofie Lenny joke. That's the movie. And that kind of blew my mind that was him in the movie. Of course, we got Corey Feldman. We got Phoebe Cates in this movie. again, we all know who Corey Feldman is. You don't know who Corey Feldman is. What rock are you living under? But if you gotta know Corey Feldman, of course, we all know him from like The Lost Boys and other, what else? Like, goddamn, there's so many movies that now I'm just throwing up a blank here. But yeah, we all know Corey Feldman. He's done a lot of work over the years. Of course, Phoebe Cates, she became more famous in Fast Time and Richmond High. Funny enough, so did another actor that worked in this movie. I think it was the guy, Judge Reinhold, who plays Gerald, Billy's friend. He was in Fast Time and Ridgemont High, and he also played in Beverly Hills Cops 1, 2, and 3. That's where I recognize his face from, and I'm gonna be honest. When he was a younger actor, he had a very well-known face. But man, oh man, I've seen some pictures of him now, and age has definitely caught up with this man. Age definitely caught up with that man. But we also got Dick Miller, who plays Murray, who we all know from like Little Shop of Horror and also Piranha. And we got Polly Holliday, who plays Ruby Deagle, which we'll get into Deagle in a bit when we get to the actual characters. Interesting. So let's run through some interesting facts about this movie. Of course, we have Jerry Goldsmith, who did the composing of all the music, and he's a very well-known horror composer. He did music for Aliens, Poltergeist, The Mommy. Like, he's done a shit ton of music all over the times. And funny enough, when the CD for this movie released, his for some reason his composing music, which for some reason just was not on the CD. Like, it had all these like popular songs that were in the movie, but we didn't get an actual CD or tape, vinyl, whatever, until 2011. And that and apparently it's still on sale. You can still buy this CD on Amazon. So pick yourself up a copy, especially if you love Jerry's music. Of course, we all know the iconic theme of the Gremlins theme. Let's see, Gizmo's theme. Like, he wrote a lot of synth orchestra music, so you could really tell the difference between each of his type of music. I have to say that he's very synthwave. I want to say in the Poltergeist it was kind of the same way as well. Same thing in Aliens, I want to say. But yeah, Jerry Goldsmith did an amazing job working on the composing of the music, which I thoroughly enjoy. I just got done listening to the soundtrack myself. Again, the theme song, we all know it, we all love it, and it's very catchy, very, like, you hear it, you just know it's fucking Gremlins. But let's go on to something interesting I found out about the Gremlins real quick. So, I originally thought that the Gremlins were all voiced by one or two different people, knowing that Howie Mandel, who we all know from American's Got Talent, he's a stand-up comedian and all that, he did the voice of Gizmo. And the thing is, I thought he maybe lend a hand on one or two voices. No. Apparently, Stripe, who is played by Frank Welker, who we all know as Megatron from the Transformers animated cartoon show, he did that voice, and apparently several other people did the voices of all these different Gremlins. Like, I looked it up, and there's like several. Like, they even got like the Flasher Gremlin, Gremlins number 4, just... That blew my fucking mind that there are so many voice actors for these Gremlins, when the fact that they actually don't have full sentences. They say like a handful of phrases here and there, but they don't really go, oh yes, I will drink this beer and smoke the cigarettes. No, they're just like, oh, Gizmo, Billy, the weird shit like that. Like, they only say like one or two words. So it blew my mind to find out that there was a whole bunch of different voice actors who did these Gremlins. I thought that was actually a pretty cool pretty cool knowledge to find out. And also, while I'm thinking about it, we gotta give Chris Wales some kudos here. Like, I knew they did some puppetry and, some effects and shit to make the Gremlins work, but the way they worked around having to move Gizmo was incredible, because knowing at the time, of course, this movie was filmed around like 83 or so, maybe 82, but it didn't come out to 84. But back then, stop motion was the best thing you could get if you had needed a creature to walk, which I want to say during the scene when the Gremlins attacked the city, I want to say that particular section might be stop motion. I'm not sure. I just noticed that from rewatching the movie recently. But the way they got around working with Gizmo is they basically did weird camera angles, a lot of big headpieces basically for the up close shots of all the Mogwais, and they also got around with it with a simple little trick that I never really noticed or paid attention to until it got pointed out, that Gizmo is basically either being carried around in Billy's arms or in Billy's backpack. That's how they get around all this bullshit. Hey guys, I'm doing pretty good. I'm doing pretty good today. But yeah, so I thought that was very creative and really interesting how they maneuvered around for the time period of how they got around with all these puppets and stuff, because I definitely knew about the camera angles things. Like, you have to, when dealing with puppeteering, you have to shoot at a certain angle, otherwise the puppeteer will be shown. I mean, I think that's something we all learned from like watching Sesame Street and shit. But let's see. Let's not forget about the smash hit what Gremlins was. Apparently the movie was done on a budget of $11 million, and it grossed over, what was the budget? $212.9 million. Funny enough though, for some reason, when America got the release date for Gremlins, we got the movie in August, where the UK and European area, y'all got it early December, which kind of sucks for the UK, because it's a Christmas horror movie, so we should have got it in December. But I think it still works. Then, another little fun fact I learned is Gizmo, because when they originally wrote this movie, let me digest for a second. When they originally wrote this movie, they wanted to do a full horror, like full horror. Like, they apparently were going to kill the dog, decapitate Billy's mom. They were going to do all this crazy shit. But after like 8-9 different drafts, they were just like, let's go in this direction. And Gizmo was originally supposed to be Stripe. Like, he was supposed to become the evil leader. And Steven Spielberg looked at the director and was just like, no, man, he's just too damn cute. You can't be doing this. He's too cute. Leave him be, man. Leave him be. So they had to rewrite the movie. That's why at the end of the movie, you don't really see Gizmo all that terribly much. It's because originally he was supposed to be Stripe. And something else I just thought was just a fun little tidbit was the sets all purposely look like sets. It's a Wonderful Life. That's the movie. It's a Wonderful Life. They purposely wanted to make it look like a set from like It's a Wonderful Life because of the fact that they wanted to bring a whole nostalgic feel to the movie. And I can definitely tell Steven Spielberg had a hand in this. Because if I remember correctly, this came out pre-E.T., which I find very funny because if you pay attention in the department store scene, you actually get to see a little E.T. toy. I think it might have been a prototype, but I know for a fact that was Steven Spielberg just being Steven Spielberg and kind of trying to promote his movie before it came out. Also, another little nod towards E.T. is in the opening when Billy's coming down the street. You look at the titles on the movie. I think it says The Boy in the Sky or something like that. I don't know. It's supposed to be some rough names Steven Spielberg was working on at the time for E.T. But yeah, I thought that was some pretty interesting facts. But the one that really, I forgot about this. I really forgot about this, but I thought it was really, really interesting was this movie and one other movie was the reason why the MPA made the PG-13 rating. People thought that the movie might be a little too harsh for a younger audience to enjoy, but good enough for younger teenagers to enjoy. So, yeah, they decided to make a PG-13 rating just for this movie, and I can't think of the name of the other movie that brought this upon us, but PG-13, thanks to Gremlins. I want to say they said the scene that made it PG-13 was the kitchen scene with the mom being attacked by the first gremlin, and she had to blend him up. Yeah, no, apparently that scene was too much for young audiences, which I find kind of funny. I didn't think it was that bad because they got around the MPA's other bullshit by making all the blood green. Which, fun fact, guys, y'all ever want to make a horror movie and just want to add, like, buckets and buckets of blood? Make it green. As long as it ain't red, MPA don't care. They really don't. This is why that kitchen scene, there's just nothing but green blood. Well, either that or the fact that they're little green monsters, so it could be a play. But I'm willing to bet it was probably because of the MPA thing. Let's see, did I have any more interesting facts? Oh yeah, one more. Because how popular this movie was, they got a lot of promotional material. I'm talking about plates, plushies, fucking t-shirts, even video games. Atari, I think, capitalized on a handful of games, and one other company did a Gremlins game that was more for Gremlins 2, which I'll talk, on a little side note real quick, I will talk about Gremlins 2, not on this particular stream. I kind of want to have a stream dedicated just for Gremlins 2, because that movie in itself has got a lot to talk about. Let's see, yes, green. No, it's not really aliens thing, but that actually reminds me of something. I was looking into, all this information about the movie, and somebody finally figured out where the Gremlins are supposed to come from, the Mogwai. Apparently and this is the story I got, told. I don't know how true this is, how accurate. Apparently it's in a prequel, not the prequel, they're books written for the movies, and they add more information and detail and stuff, but apparently in the book, it states that the Gremlins were from outer space and were created by a scientist in outer space, and it got sent down to Earth somehow. But yeah, they're apparently an alien life form. So I thought that was interesting. I didn't think he was very much alien because of the fact of how nonchalant everybody acts about the Mogwai. And I'll get into that once we get into the movie, but just how nonchalant they're all about these damn gremlins. Like, I'm sorry. Gizmo's cute, don't get me wrong. Gizmo is adorable. I love me some Gizmo. I wish I had me a Gizmo. But damn it, man, nobody's asking questions here. Just, oh, this is adorable. What is it? That would be my first thing, like, what is it? It's a Mogwai. Well, what the fuck is a Mogwai? But I know he doesn't look like an alien. But yeah, for some reason, apparently, according to this prequel thing, he's an alien. But we might actually learn a little bit more, because digging further into this rabbit hole about Gremlins, I found out in 2020, it got announced that they were planning on partnering up with HBO Max to make a prequel series. So that actually might explain a little bit more about the Mogwais. I mean, I don't know how accurate books to movie. Again, I can't think of what they're called. They're books particularly made just from the movies. I don't know how accurate or how true or how people closely follow that, but yeah. Like I said, we'll have to see. Hopefully they can get off the ground, because there's been talks about prequels or a third Gremlins for like a long, long time. And I think as long as Joe Dante is allowed to wrinkle up again, I think it would be a good movie, because he did a good job in the sequel. I'm not gonna lie, I love the sequel. I don't love it as much as the first one, don't get me wrong. I love this second one, but the first one is just like my all-time jam, man. It's my all-time fucking jam. Alright, I think those are all the interesting facts I have. Like I said, I mainly found some more interesting facts about the creations and behind the scenes things than anything else. Well, let's go ahead and dive straight into this movie for those of y'all who have never seen Gremlins and want to know more about this interesting, lovely little movie. So, of course, we start off with Hoyton, who plays Randall. By the way, a lot of people recognize the guy who plays Billy Dad, Randall. He's a famous country music singer who then became an actor who unfortunately passed in 1999. But, yeah, he was originally a country singer. But it starts off, of course, in Chinatown with his little monologue, which was also an afterthought. Apparently, the monologue from the beginning and the monologue at the end were done after the movie was done. Like, I guess Steven Spielberg really just thought of it at the last second or something. I'm not quite sure. But we have the opening. And, of course, you know, Randall goes into Chinatown. He's been led by a little boy. He's like, come to my grandfather's shop. Come. And the running joke with Randall is he's an inventor whose inventions don't really work all that well. We have the smokeless ashtray, the egg beater thing, the orange juice machine he had going on, the fucking handy bathroom thing, the kitchen buddy. Apparently, they work for about 2 weeks and then they just stop. They just fucking stop. And I love how throughout the whole movie, we see these inventions and we just see the, seriously, like just that look of, do I seriously have to use Dad's machine? Like, why can't we just buy coffee? That's another one, the coffee machine. Like, the man, I give him props. He's a brilliant inventor. He was ahead of the curve. He was thinking of the future. But the man needed to work on some of his technical skills and or hire someone who had more technical knowledge because his machinery just kept fucking up. But Randall, you know, of course, tries to sell him something, and the old man's just like, you know, kind of nonchalant about it. And then we, of course, get the amazing little song by Gizmo, which we all know his little... I can't do his little noises, unfortunately. Like, I can do, like, the high pitch, you know, the bright light. I can do about that, but I can't do his little... You know, that because he rolls his R's a lot, which I think is very, very cute. But we get his little intro, and this is kind of like our first glimpse at Gizmo, because we don't get the full reveal of what Gizmo is until later on in the movie. Not too much though. It's about, I think, maybe roughly, I don't know, 10 minutes or something. It doesn't take that long. Well, ooh, almost choked on my vape right there. But, you know, we get the whole interaction of, hey, man, I want to buy this. And the guy's just like, no, just no. Just no. It's like, well, then why do you have Gizmo in the shop if he's not for sale? And you're not letting him out of the box, so clearly he's not a pet or a loved one by you. So why is he here? Well, why can't I buy Gizmo? With Mogwai comes great responsibility. Granted, I was gonna say a joke, but homie is kind of right. Like, I hate to say it, Billy fucked that shit up, like, real quick. It didn't take him less than a day to fuck that shit up. Like, I could kind of maybe get the light one, you know, because, you know, everyone, and, you know, turn on lights to see where the hell they're going. And I can definitely get the midnight, you know, feeding the Mogwai after midnight. But that also brings a good question real quick. Because we all know the 3 rules when it comes to a Mogwai. We got the, you know, no bright lights, don't get him wet, don't feed him after midnight. This was even a joke in the second movie. What technically does it mean by don't feed after midnight? Because what exactly is the time frame there? Is it like 12 to 12? Or like that? That was always my thing, just when does after midnight technically end to feed these motherfuckers? Because clearly they get hungry. So when's the time to feed them? Or after midnight, like, is that, I'm just assuming noon. As soon as noon, maybe 12:01 to be on the safe side hits, you could feed them. But before then, don't feed them, man. Just don't feed them. But I mean, I don't know. Again, it was even a joke in the second one. Like, I want to say it was Billy's trying to warn them. They're like, well, so what happens if he eats like around 11:50, but he still has something caught in his teeth? Technically, he didn't eat after midnight. Like, it gets out of hand. I'm gonna be honest. It gets really out of hand. But we learned about the 3 rules after the little boy, basically goes against his grandfather's wishes and sells the Mogwai to Randall. And he tells him kind of overlay of the rules. And he takes $200, which, by the way, $200. He bought this beautiful alien-like creature for $200. For one, that's a steal. That's a steal. Second of all, you still just don't ask questions. Like, you just go, I gotta have him, $200. Like, I would be asking a lot of questions here. Again, Gizmo is cute, don't get me wrong. But questions, people, questions, ask questions. So, after that, that brief opening, we get to what I have to say is a very beautiful picture. There's 2 painting scenes, if y'all know what I'm talking about. It's basically when they don't have the money or the budget to film or recreate an entire town. They use painting backdrops to add kind of a very nice flair to it, but also shows you the extent of how big this town is. But after that, of course, we get introduced to the rest of the characters, which is, Billy, we got Pete, Kate, Murray, and Stegall. I'm not even gonna call her Ruby. Fuck that bitch. Fuck that bitch. But we get kind of thrown into the Christmas spirit, right off the bat, which lets you know, hey, this is definitely a Christmas movie because, oh God, what's the name of that song? It's Christmas. It's Christmas. A generic Christmas song that we all know. I'm sure if I type in Christmas music, that song will be on a playlist somewhere. It's playing. Of course, we see everybody get in the spirits. We see the Christmas lights. We see the Christmas tree. Of course, Pete, who is Corey Feldman's character, he's dressed like a fucking Christmas tree trying to sell Christmas trees. Like, God bless him for having to wear that itchy ass costume, I have to say. But we get the tone of Christmas, which I really like that when it comes to Christmas movies, because I'm gonna be honest, there's been so many movies that are Christmas, but aren't really Christmas. Case in point, I hate to say it, Dead Hard. Or no, sorry, not Dead Hard. Fuck, I'm thinking Dead by Daylight. Fucking Die Hard. There we go. Die Hard. It's not a Christmas movie. I'm gonna be the person that says that. Like, it's set around Christmas or set around December, but technically it doesn't happen on Christmas Eve or Christmas Day at any point. It happens like weeks before Christmas. So I want to say there's a stigma when it comes to movies released around December dealing with the Christmas holiday. As long as it's somewhat got, Christmas coming in a couple of days, it's classified as a Christmas movie. Like, no longer do we have Christmas movies set on Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. Well, like, we have a handful, but not that many. A lot of them happen days or weeks before Christmas. So, unfortunately... I hate to say it, guys. Sorry, I said it first, and I'll say it again, but Die Hard, not a Christmas movie. But Gremlins, definitely a Christmas movie. It throws you in, I think, on Christmas Eve. It's either the day before Christmas Eve or Christmas Eve. I want to say it's Christmas Eve. They throw you into this, and you get kind of a good walk around the town. Again, we meet all the characters. And, of course, we get introduced to our least favorite cranky bitch of the movie, Mrs. Stegall. Oh my gosh, she is like worse than Scrooge. Like, this bitch has got the town by the balls, and she is such a cold-hearted woman, especially when like the woman and her 2 kids show up, and of course the kids look like fucking like sick orphan kids from like School of Rock, just Mommy, I'm hungry. story, it's super, like, sad and cute, but she's just like, Miss Stegall, we need time for the rent, blah, 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 and she's just like, me and the bank have only one thing in common, that is, we both like making money. Now you know what to ask Santa for Christmas. And then walks the fuck off. I'm just like, woman, if oh, that woman would get an ass beating from me. If I ever ran to a woman like that and she tried to be snarky as shit, I'll go to jail happily. I will. Just, why are you in here? I killed Mrs. Deagle. Good job. I think even the judge would be, you know what, you get off, man. Because apparently a lot of people hated her. And I don't blame them. She's fucking psychotic and a dramatic drama queen. Oh my god. So, of course, we get introduced to her where she's got the fucking snowman head and she's walking and all angry. She's got her little theme song, which I have to say, I enjoy the wackiness of her theme song. Like, everybody's got their own theme song. Like I said, Gizmo's got one. The Gremlins themselves have one. The theme song and Billy, everybody's got their own theme song. But a lot of people are kind of torn on Mrs. Deagle's theme song because it's kind of goofy. And I want to say, it fits her. I want to say there would have been too much of a comparison between her and the Wicked Witch of the West. They use too many string instruments. So I like the fact they use a lot of brass instruments and kind of do that kind of musical note, by the way. Because it really adds just a sense of giggle about her. She's a ruthless, mean-ass bitch. But, we gotta lighten it up a little bit. And I think it's part of the comedy aspect of this movie. Because you'll definitely notice a change in the movie when, I want to say it's right when the swimming pool, it's the swimming pool one. There's a bit of a tone switch. It's not like dramatic, like oh my god, but you'll notice that there's a lot of horror elements at the beginning of the movie, and by the time it gets to the end, it's like straight up comedy. Which I'm not bitching about. Like that's that. The whole Gremlins destroying the town. We'll get there when we get there. But damn it has to be one of my favorite scenes, to be honest. But, she shows up with the damn snowman, and after that interaction with a woman and her two kids, she just, cuts in line, puts her fucking snowman on the counter. It's just like, this is what your beast did to my snowman. I'm like, first of all, that was an ugly fucking snowman. Second of all, how dare you call him a beast? And then she wants to threaten him. She's like, oh, I'll put him in my dryer, put it on high heat on the spin cycle. Like, bitch, you psychotic. You gonna kill a dog in a dryer? Like, that's just some crazy ass actions right there. But, of course, Max the dog jumps over the counter and attacks her, and she's all like, oh my god, my heart, oh, I'm so weak. Oh, leans over to Billy, I'll get that little dog. Oh, my heart! Oh, it's just like, bitch, you being dramatic for no fucking reason. But after that, of course, we get to the bar scene where we meet with his buddy, Gerald, which, by the way, there's a lot of deleted scenes for this movie, and apparently his character got cut for time. And he's majority in the deleted scenes. So it's been a minute since I've seen any of the deleted scenes, so I couldn't really tell you a lot of input that his character added to these from these deleted scenes. But as a character, his friend that we only see for a short amount of time, I like him. I think it was a very decent character. Again, I never really had a problem with any of the characters. I thought they all played very well, acted very well, well written. But of course we get to the bar and then we see, who Murray is, and Murray, he's kind of that crazy conspiracy guy that we all have in town. One guy who believes that gremlins are real, but yet nobody else does. He's that guy, but we love that guy. But once we get to the bar and we get introduced to the characters, and we learn that Kate doesn't like Christmas, and we learn later on why, which I will discuss that scene at some point as well. Y'all know the story. I don't know why I keep telling y'all this. Especially, this is the 7th podcast y'all listening to. Y'all should know this. And if this is your first time listening to this podcast, welcome. And this is something I do. But anyway, so once we get to the house, we have, of course, the introduction of Gizmo, actually, like a full-on version of Gizmo. Not just in the shadows or just hearing him talk, but Randall comes in and gives Billy the present. And what I find adorable is that you can actually hear Gizmo woof. Like, you can actually hear him go woof, 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 and it's so adorable. Like, I love it. And then Billy tries to shake the present. Like, poor Gizmo, he got a little head trauma right there. But, they, of course, do the whole reveal aspect. And that's something I find really, really interesting about the movie, is that they take this moment to really, like, let you take him in. Like, they don't just go, here he is. Like, we had the little jump scare where he pops out of the box to scare Billy, and then he slowly reveals, and behind him is the fireplace going, because the lights are all off. And you really get a sense of, he's just this adorable little, like, almost baby-like entity. Like, he's just so cute. Like, I wish I could just grab him and just hold him. I really want one. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I really want one. Since I was a kid, I wanted one. But, of course, Random gives them the little rules. And Billy, of course, and starts breaking them right off the bat, We had the whole incident where he's playing, I think it's during the piano scene where they're doing the keyboard and Gizmo is following him on the keyboard and telling him, no, this is the note right here. And he puts a little Santa hat on him, making him look all cute and stuff. And of course, Gizmo's in love with it. And then, of course, Billy uses the mirror. The fucking light retracts from the mirror and blinds poor Gizmo. The little guy falls into the garbage can and hurts himself. And then he has to take him to the bathroom, has to turn the bathroom light off after Gizmo goes, bright light, yet again. Like, this poor little guy. If that Chinaman didn't come back at the end of the movie to come get him, I don't know what would have happened to poor Gizmo. Because Billy was not doing a good job. When a Mogwai takes great experience, and Billy had no experience. But, Gizmo just absolutely cute. And him watching the television and mimicking the little car, like the little car's noises and stuff, it's really cute. And I'm glad they used that later on during the department store, because of the fact that it just adds like an extra layer of just cuteness and how smart he is also. If you think about it, he literally saw something on television, which he's never watched television before, because the old man, when he comes to get Gizmo at the end of the movie, kind of scoffs that Randall and Billy are letting Gizmo watch TV. So I'm always assuming he never let him watch TV, so he's going to mimic what he sees. Which I find that really adorable, but that shows you how intelligent Gizmo and Mogwais technically are. Like, they can see the situation, investigate it, analyze it, and know what to do. Like, these little fuckers are smart. And I'll get there when we get to the bigger group, the other 5 Mogwais up here. But, yeah, let me add this, though. Again, nobody asks questions. So, Random shows him Gizmo, and then the first thing everyone does is, oh, look how cute he is. Let me pick him up. Let me hold him. Oh, let me pet him. And then, just nobody asks any questions. Just like, well, what's a Mogwai? Like, nobody asks. Like, that's something I personally would ask. I would just be, yo, bro, what's a Mogwai? Well, I don't know. Can we look this up before I touch it? What if he's radioactive? He may be cute, but you know what? I know a lot of animals in the animal kingdom that look fucking adorable. Fucking adorable. Otters, those guys are vicious bastards. So are pandas. Adorable creatures are very, very vicious. So, if I see this thing I've never seen before, I will be a little skeptical. I'll be like, Daddy's cute, but, do we have instructions with him? Do we have a backstory? Like, can you elaborate more where you got him from besides Chinatown in a basement? Like, Dad, please, just explain to me what a mogwai is. Like, even if you gotta make shit up, just try to explain it. But everyone's just so casual about it, so calm. Just, oh, he's so cute, let me take a picture. And like, even fucking Corey Feldman's character, who comes over after delivering their tree that next morning. Which, by the way, the movie takes place on Christmas Eve, why did they wait till Christmas Eve to get the tree delivered? Just food for thought. Like, usually when, December hits, I know people who put out the Christmas tree on November 29th, like right off the bat. Like, as soon as Thanksgiving's over, that Christmas tree's up. But for some reason, Billy and them wait till fucking Christmas Eve to get a Christmas tree. I don't know. But, of course, Pete comes upstairs trying to hide that stupid-ass Christmas tree costume he cannot stand. And I'm kind of with him. On that. But, he even sees the Mogwai and doesn't ask any questions, doesn't, be fearful of it. He just starts petting Gizmo and kind of poking him a little bit. Just, oh, he's so cute. Look how cute he is. Oh, it's just like, nobody freaks out. Like, even when the actual Gremlins themselves show up, nobody freaks out until they start attacking you. And I'm just like, what's wrong with these people? Like, I would be having serious concern here if I saw a bunch of green creatures running around craving havoc. Like, I would just be asking some serious questions like, do we have a government secret lab nearby? Do we have an alien spaceship that crashed somewhere? Like, so many damn questions. And yet, nobody asks a single damn question. And that buzzed the hell out of me. Granted, I push it aside because I love this movie, but still, nobody asks these questions. So, unfortunately though, when Pete sees the Mogwai for the first time, he basically has a little boo-boo, and he drops some water on poor Gizmo, and 5 new little Mogwais pop out. Which, something I have to add, not only are the Mogwais and Gremlins all voiced by different actors, but the fact that they took time, and you definitely see this in the second movie, but they took the time to make each of these Mogwais their own individual little Mogwais. None of them look nor act the same. Like, yeah, they're all stupid, don't get me wrong, they're all stupid to a degree because they're like fucking smoking 8 cigarettes, pounding beer, shooting each other, they're fucking crazy. But the fact that each one looks different, but of course we gotta have our main leader, fucking Stripe, kind of be like the real odd man out because he's the only one with a little stripe thing, and he's very, very vicious, but he's very, very smart because I don't know why. I really don't know why he's the smarter one out of the bunch, but for some reason they made him the leader and he's the smart one to the point that he chewed the, I'm pretty sure he's the one who came up with the idea to chew the clock. I don't know when he chewed the clock. I'm pretty sure it was probably around the time when they were fucking with the dog and they hung him with the Christmas lights. Which also, I just thought of, how the fuck did they do that? They're only like yay big. Like, they're not that big as Mogwais. When the Gremlins, they get a little bit bigger. But as Mogwais, they're like pocket size almost. Okay, not pocket size, but they're tiny. They're tiny. Like, I got stuffed animals bigger than them. Or just as big as them. So how the hell did they pick this dog up, take it outside, or even they tricked it outside and hung it out with a bunch of lights? Like, that's some ingenuity shit right there. I'm not gonna lie, that's some pure fucking ingenuity shit. But in this interaction, you learn kind of how smart they are, because of that, because of the fact that they were able to get this dog in the lights, that they ate the fucking power cord to the alarm clock. But as the time goes on, I have to say something else. When you first meet all the group of Mogwais, it takes no more than 30 minutes. I oddly forgot how long this movie was, but it doesn't feel that long at all because so much is happening. It's just rapid fire and some good ass shit, don't get me wrong. And there's only one scene that I don't like, but we'll get there eventually. But basically, after the 30-minute marker, we get introduced to these Mogwais, and of course, Billy wants to know more information. Now he wants to learn more information. Not when he first got it, No, he waits till after the fucking boo-boo when they've straight up just duplicated poor Gizmo and the 5 other little fucktards. Like, sorry, but it's true. They're fucking assholes, man. They're fucking assholes. Like, they fucking bully poor Gizmo. Like, poor little Gizmo. They torment the town. Like, I don't give a shit about the town. Like, fuck the town. But poor Gizmo, man. Poor Gizmo. Just getting bullied. Just, they fucking throw his ass down the laundry chute. They fucking throw darts at him. Like, they're so mean. They're so mean. And then let's not forget the scene where fucking Gizmo's sitting there being super, super adorable. And he's playing that little toy trumpet. And fucking Stripe spits at him. Like, that's just mean, bro. Like, fuck those guys. But after the water incident, Billy takes one of them to, I guess, a biology teacher or something. I don't know exactly what he teaches. I know he's a science teacher, but for some reason, he took him to a science teacher. Instead of, like, a government lab, or I would take it, to be honest, but a science teacher to figure out. And yet again, the science teacher doesn't ask any questions. Just looks at it and goes, all right, I'll run some tests. Like, bro, you are looking at something no human has ever seen before, and you're a scientist. Ask questions. But, after that, unfortunately, we get to learn, just how smart these little fuckers are. Because not only do we have Stripe over there, who's, turning off the alarm clock, but the one at the teacher's desk, he sneakily eats something. He sneakily eats it. So at this point, besides Gizmo, we now have besides Gizmo, we have 6 Mogwai. We originally had 5 until Billy took one of the Mogwais to the teacher and then dropped water on it just to show him. Which I didn't get. Like, what happens when you drop water on them. Like, you don't have to show him this. Like, he's looking at the creature in front of him. He doesn't need to see it replicate. But for some reason, Billy's just like, I'm just going to show him. I'm just going to show him the replication skills that these little Mogwais have. And I'm just like, why, bro? Why? Like, I will say, there's a lot of stupid decisions in this movie, but they're fun, stupid decisions. Because of the fact that, without some of these stupid decisions, we really wouldn't progress forward in a lot of the plot. But once the other little group tricks Billy into feeding them after midnight, and they eat that chicken, which I have to say, that's kind of a gross scene. Like, the little fuckers just like, ugh, like, y'all went ham on this shit. Y'all really went ham on this shit. But then we get the big reveal the next morning, where the pods are all out just kind of like all over the place. And what's interesting about the pods is they were made from latex, which I thought that was pretty interesting. But of course, we learned that the Mogwai can kind of be like butterflies in a way. The purification or whatever the hell that word is, for morphing into another being in a way. This, again, shit butterflies do. That they end up doing that to create the iconic look of the Gremlins. Like, don't get me wrong, everybody knows Gizmo and the little Mogwai form, the little fuzzy, cute little ears, just the cute little toe beams. And then we have the iconic look, though, of these tall, skinny, lanky, red eyes, disgusting looking, claw-having Gremlins. And that's a very iconic look. That is a very iconic look. And I've never actually seen anyone try to replicate or try to duplicate that similar look and actually have it work. And again, I guess this goes back to the puppeteering, the puppeteers behind the puppeteering of the Gremlins. They did a good job moving them around and showing off, which, funny enough, just like, how we met Gizmo, we don't get to see the full scale of the Gremlin until the kitchen scene. But, once the pods straight up kind of have like a classic horror movie monster thing where you see them hatch out. Oh, metamorphosis. Thank you. Metamorphosis. That's basically what they're doing in the little cocoons. But I like when they come out of the cocoons because it adds like a classic like monster movie moment where the music kind of picks up, kind of gets this like synth wave appear. We got the flashing lights, the smoke effects, and then kind of just the reveal of them laughing. Like we don't even get to see them again till the kitchen scene. But if I may add something real quick, as a science teacher, Billy has told the dude the rules. Hey, the lights. Don't show him lights. Don't feed him after midnight. Don't get him wet. He knows that this little fucker done escaped the box after class and is running around. Why the hell did he not turn on a light? Like, I'm just saying, like, homie just sat there, or not sat there, but he was searching around in the dark. Like, bro, you really could have gave yourself more of an advantage here if you just would have turned on a fucking light. But another thing I might add was, what the hell was in that syringe that killed him? Because the gremlin killed him because he was mad that the science teacher took blood from him. But he got stabbed in the butt with a needle. What the fuck was in that needle? Like, what was it? And why the hell does he have it? Like, there's just too many fucking variables and questions here. But we get the death of this guy is... I find it kind of funny. I'm not gonna lie. I find it kind of funny. The fact that he's got a little Snickers bar and he's just like, come on, little buddy. Let's go. Come on. Yeah, I know you want it. And then, you hear him eating. But it's not the cute, like, Gizmo eating. It's the disturbing Gremlins eating where it's like they lick everything, including the food. Oh yeah, no, I love that, and I will be having a special stream at some point, probably after the Christmas holidays, dedicated to just Gremlins 2. I want to talk all about Gremlins 2. I love that one too, so yeah. If I don't talk about it in the stream, again, guys, don't feel butthurt. I will do a stream podcast dedicated just to Gremlins 2 because there's just too many good moments, too many meta jokes, too many poking fun at the sequels that I just gotta talk about it. But I digress. But once the teacher dies, Billy shows up, and we get kind of our little glimpses of what the gremlin looks like. We get the little claw coming over the desk, eating the apples, then eating the glass, and then him popping open the door real quick. And I like that they added that, so you don't get the full, like, oh my god kind of moment. Because when you actually see him in person for that first time, it's really like kind of breathtaking in a way. Like, as weird as that sounds, because of the fact that you don't know what you're expecting. All you see is this creepy little skinny green hand just coming out of nowhere and making weird fucking noises. Like, you don't know what you're expecting. So when you get that full reveal in the kitchen and you get the I guess fluorescent lights of the kitchen just shining upon his fucking head, it really shows you the detail of the full animation and movements of the gremlins, and I can appreciate that. But let's talk about the kitchen scene. Because of the kitchen scene, I said this earlier, but because of the kitchen scene, we have the PG-13 ratings. Thank you, MPA, for being that butthurt and disturbed by the kitchen scene in this movie. They, like I said, they originally thought it was too graphical for small children, but fine enough for young teenagers. And I can get it because what happens in this is ridiculous. So Billy's mom goes upstairs to investigate the pods after Billy calls and says, hey, they hatched, get the hell out of the house. Again, stupid bitch moment. She decides to go investigate instead of getting the hell out of the house. But when she goes upstairs, we get the creepy ass, Christmas music playing that every Christmas horror movie should definitely do, is add Christmas music and make it creepy. Congratulations, Gremlins, you did a good job. But, she gets down the stairs and she comes around that corner. She's got a knife in her hand because she's like, don't fuck with me. She's that strong, independent woman. Don't fuck with me, bitch. But she comes around the corner. Of course, she, like I said, you see the big full reveal of the gremlin, and that motherfucker's eating the gingerbread cookies. At the head first, too, just covered with yellow fucking icing all over the place. And she ends up pushing him into a blender or something. It's one of, I'm assuming it's one of Randall's inventions, but it's like a blender, basically. She pushes him in, turns it on. Of course, we get the little spinny effect and the green blood going everywhere. And then the other one shows up, so she actually stabs it. Like, she starts, like, attacking this little fucker. Just, oh, hell no. And, it got to the point that she ends up throwing it into the microwave and turning it on, like snakes on a plane, just poof, goo everywhere. And it's just, I love the practical effects. I'm not gonna lie, the practical effects, again, were really, really, really good. And again, I just like the little added touches of the green blood. Again, I don't know if it has to do with the MPA or the fact that just biologically the gremlins have green blood oozing out of them. But we had the only thing I can't say, it's kind of hard to tell the difference between some of the Mogwai in this particular scene, or the gremlins, I should say, because you really don't get to look at them too terribly much because they're either, again, in a blender and a microwave and a fireplace. But again, Stripe is the only one that has his outstanding features of his little mohawk, which I love his little mohawk. I wish I actually had his action figure, but unfortunately I've only found one action figure of the Gremlins, which is one of the moviegoer ones, and you know, I'll show them off at the end of the stream. But you know, the mother, after taking care of, you know, the Gremlins in the kitchen, she goes into the den where the Christmas tree's at. She gets attacked. And while she's struggling, Billy comes storming in and, of course, kicks the motherfucker into a fireplace. And then we see Stripe in his full fucking glory there. And he just takes the hell off to start chaos and madness. So, you know, Billy ends up having to chase him down. And then we get to the iconic pool scene. The iconic pool scene is very iconic because of the fact that the score behind it. I don't know what the composer used, but I swear to God, it sounds like a very angry cat. Just very fucking angry cat. And I like that sound effect for the theme for the Gremlins. But, Stripe, you know, before he jumps to the pool, he torments Billy a little bit around the school, jumps in, and then like a horde of these motherfuckers start popping up everywhere. And that is when we get to one of my favorite scenes, which is the attack on the town, because so much cool, funny ass shit happens that's just fucking priceless. So let's start with the rather obvious one, which is Murray being almost run over by his fucking bulldozer. That has to be hands down one of the funniest scenes ever, because of the fact that, of course, you know, Murray, like I said, is one of the conspiracy theory kind of guys. So he basically kind of loses his shit when he sees the Gremlins driving the bulldozer, and he's like, oh, I told you they were real, like the fucking crazy guy off of Invasion of the Body Snatchers. Which, if I may add, I find funny because the fact that Billy, I want to say, is watching that movie at some point. I think it's Billy, it could be somebody else, but I want to say they're watching the classic black and white Invasion of the Body Snatchers. Which, I like that, especially with the whole pod thing. But, you know, we have, you know, that iconic scene, and then we have the dudes putting the mail in the mailbox, and he just, the little mail keeps being split back at him. He hears the noises, so he sticks his hand in, and of course he gets mangled to fucking death. Like, poor dude, he just wanted to deliver his mail to Santa, man. That's all he wanted to do. That's all he felt like doing. And no, his Christmas Eve got ruined. And then, of course, my favorite, like, death of the entire movie. Like, when I was a kid, I cheered. And I still cheer when this bitch dies. It's Mrs. Deagle's death. Oh my god. So, let me, let's talk about this scene. I love this fucking death because of the fact that you see this bitch coming down the stairs. She's got like 20,000 fucking cats. So clearly she's that crazy cat lady with who probably married into rich money. That's just why she's a fucking snob. But you know, she's trying to feed her cats. She hears singing outside, so she thinks it's carolers. No, it's the Gremlins being assholes. And she goes to throw water on them, and she just sees them, and they're all dressed up super cute with little mittens and, you know, earmuffs, little scarves and shit. Just fucking adorable. Just, yeah. She freaks the fuck out. And while she's freaking the fuck out, you see, I want to say it's Stripe who does this. I could be wrong. I know it's one of the Gremlins. Fuck with her little chair that she uses to get up and down the stairs. Thus, when she gets on her chair, she's like, my heart, I can't take this. Oh. First of all, I like to add, she's less dramatic when she's actually dying than when she wasn't dying. So, you know, that's a telltale sign who this woman really is. But, of course, you know, she pushes the button and she flies up the fucking stairs, out the damn window, and lands right in front of the police officers, and they're just like, huh, I think that's Mrs. Stegall. Like, no fucks given. Like, they just watch this woman die. No fucks given. That shows you how much nobody liked that woman. Nobody liked her. Not even the cops. They see her die, and they're just like, must be a Tuesday. So, and then I have to add this little tidbit as well. The radio station we hear throughout the movie, I love that guy. Rockin' Ricky, funniest dude in the world, because, you know, in the beginning of the movie, you know, he introduces us, oh, you know, Merry Christmas, we're getting close to Christmas, whatever, guys, and he plays his little Christmas song. But at this point in the movie, people are calling. I know Corey Feldman's character calls him up and it's just like, hey, there's these little green men running around. And he's just like, all right, guys, stop it now. Stop it. There are no little green men walking around. We're good. We're fine. Like, what's this deal? And then suddenly they hear noises. And he's like, is that a Rockin' Ricky fan? Oh, they're a fan? All right, Ricky. Just not your music. Just not your DJing skills. And they fucking, you know, take him off the damn radio station. But I really liked him because of the fact that not only do we get to hear him being attacked, but near the end of the movie where Randall comes back into town, you hear Rockin' Ricky just go, it's been a rough night, everybody, but Rockin' Ricky's still rocking on. Like, you know what, bro? You do you, man. You're doing the best you can do. We love you. We fucking love you. But, so now let's get to, again, like I said, guys, the whole attack on town is one of my favorite scenes, and that's literally just the rest of the half of the movie. That I love the last half of the movie, because I love the craziness these Gremlins get up to. You know, not only they're attacking, you know, people in the town, like chasing them off, which I wonder how many people they actually killed. Like, we noticed at one point when Billy and Kate are running and they go into one of the buildings, I think it might be a public library or the police station or something. They go into one of the buildings and then Kate has her story why she hates Christmas. You know, before then you see the craziness of the town, you know, the Gremlins coming out of cars, fucking shit up, people screaming, people running around, and then when they come out, it's just quiet. So, it's just like, did they just chase everybody off, or did they kill some people? Again, these are questions nobody asked. These are questions nobody asked, and these are the questions I asked. Next to, what the fuck is a Mogwai? Like, seriously, again, nobody asked these questions? But I digress. But, we get the bar scene. And I love this particular scene because of the fact that this is where you see the full diversity of all these fucking Gremlins. Like, you got the one chugging beer, you got the one doing the fucking flash dance of Maniac, you know, and she's a maniac, man. You just see the little fucker just going ham. You got the one dressed like a girl. You got my personal favorite one, the Flasher. I love that little motherfucker. Just Case trying to, like, get beer. Again, I'll say it again. Who the fuck acts that calm when the Gremlins walk in, start tearing shit up, and yet she's serving them beer, peanuts, and trying to light their cigarettes. And she's acting like this is a normal Tuesday. Just, oh, sure, let me grab you this. Oh, God, don't throw that at me. All right, let me light this. Oh, shit, don't do that. Okay, don't touch me, don't touch me. Like, bitch, get the fuck out. Like, I get this is your job, but nobody cares. Get the fuck out. Oh, okay. So, fun fact. Apparently, the YMCA building used for the pool scene was apparently a National Lampoon Vacation. Did not know about that. Now, I did know they built it on the Warner Brothers set because apparently they did majority of the movie on the Warner Brothers studios. I think there was a handful of scenes that might have been shot on location, but most of it was shot on set. And again, there's a reason why they wanted to make it very setty, because they want to add a nice nostalgic feel to it, and kind of reminiscence of old school Christmas movies. Again, like Miracle on 34th Street, or 35th Street, or whatever the hell that movie is called. It's a Wonderful Life. But again, we get to see the full diversity of all these little gremlins. And like I said, the Flasher is my personal favorite because, you know why? She's trying to hand out the beers, and, you know, like the one gremlin that's got like 6 cigarettes in his mouth, and you got Stripe in the back playing poker, and he kills a guy. You know, we got all that shit going on, and then she bends down to pick something up, and there's just a fucking gremlin standing there wearing a hat, sunglasses, and a trench coat, and just flashes her. Just, like, bro, what drugs are you on? Like, seriously, what drug are any of these gremlins on, to be honest? Like, they're acting crazy. Like a wild party, like a after party, basically. And, you know, we get several other different various types of gremlins. Again, they all look the same, but they're very, very different as well. Like, design-wise, and I'm pretty sure the reason why they look design-wise is because there's a lot of fucking gremlins, and that's a lot of work and dedication to make them look different. But they all have their own different personalities, so that's what makes them apart from each other. And I really like that. And again, they do I'm gonna be honest, they do a better job at doing personality, you know, different personalities to the gremlins in the second movie, where we had the talking one, the flying bat one, the fucking girl one that sings. I remember that one, the green hair, big puffy lip ones. But the talking one always stood out to me. But again, guys, I'll get to the Gremlins 2 after next year after the Christmas holidays, because I really want to talk about that one. But, you know, so Kate's being all nonchalant about this shit, and then she realizes they don't like fire, so she tries to get out. And then we got the gremlin that tries to shoot her with a ski mask on, and then Billy comes in to save her. And then, of course, like I said earlier, we had the scene where they are running across town, and the gremlins are making a muck, and they go inside of a building. And then we have the scene that, I'm gonna be honest, I really didn't care for this, but I get why they added it. Apparently, the director really liked the story Kate told, and the story is basically an urban legend where her dad, dressed like Santa Claus, tries to climb down the chimney, breaks his neck, got stuck up there for 5-6 days, and the fireman had to pull him out. This is why she hates Christmas. Which, again, with Gremlins 2, they make a joke about that, but towards Abraham Lincoln's birthday. We never get to hear the rest of that story, but damn it, man, I'm kind of curious. What makes you hate Abraham Lincoln's birthday? But the reason why this particular, because it was kind of like a 50-50 split. Apparently, Steven Spielberg was like, I really don't like it, but I'm gonna let Joe do his own. This is his movie. I'm gonna let him do it. And he was really adamant about doing this scene. I don't know why, but he was really adamant about doing it. So they kept the scene in. I personally don't like it. I think it kind of slows the pace down a little bit. Probably maybe to, I guess, add like a breath of air, because we have all this chaos, especially in the bar scene and them attacking the town. We need kind of a breath of air. She tells the story, but they don't let her finish it because just she goes, it was Abraham Lincoln. I was maybe 6 or 7. And this guy who looked like Abe Lincoln walks in, and they're like, come on, just come on, let's just get out of here. So they never actually finish the story. So I want to know, what the hell is the story? But with the Santa Claus one, I personally don't like it, but I think it was just added to kind of add like a pause to let you catch your breath because of all the chaos that was going on outside. And then for a director's point of view, that makes sense. If there's another reason for it being in there, I don't know. But for me, I feel like that's probably why he added it in there as a little backstory and understanding of why Kate hates Christmas. And it kind of slows the pace down so you can, okay. Because the next scene is when it gets even crazier. Oh yeah, no, Joel is a fucking genius when it came to the Gremlins movies. And the only reason he even did the second Gremlins movies is because he told Warner Brothers he would only do it if he had full control of the movie. So they let him have full control. So all that craziness you see, yeah, that's all Joe. That's all Joe. Love him though. Good director. I love his work. But we get to one of the more iconic scenes of this movie, which is the movie theater scene. And I have to say, again, no one freaks out until the Gremlins start attacking. Nobody asks questions. Nobody is concerned. And nobody, goes, that's strange. Not until this scene. Billy has got a little Gizmo in his backpack, and Kate's following him. They go to the movie, and they see everyone grabbing popcorn. And then they're watching Snow White. They're watching Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. And that's the moment. That moment, not any other moment before, not any moment after. That is the moment Billy looks at Kate and goes, they're watching Snow White. And they're enjoying it? Like, he seems so confused by that. Like, nothing else about the Mogwai and the Gremlins confuse you. But the fact that they're singing along to Hi-Ho and going back and forth, like, all in a little jaunty tune together, that's what makes you question everything? Not any of the shit beforehand. No, this is the shit. Them watching Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs and actually enjoying it. But I love that scene because, again, you get the look of all the different Gremlins just hanging around, fucking with popcorn, singing along, just like fucking little crackheads. That's all they are, little crackheads. But Stripe, he takes that opportunity in that moment to move his ass towards the candy store because he wants Milk Duds. He wants Milk Duds. Right? I'm surprised Disney doesn't own this movie because of the fact that it has Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs in it. I am completely flabbergasted about that. Like, you would think Disney would just be like, you know what, I want this movie now. Acquire it from Warner Brothers since they own everything else. But I found it funny. I really found it funny when the little Gremlins were singing along. Like, out of everything I've seen them do, this is the only thing as a group they can all agree on, that they love Gremlins. I mean, that they love Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. Granted, I think they love each other because they're stupid idiots. Again, let's talk about the fact that Stripe shot not one, but 2 of them, I want to say. I know he shot one for sure, and that's during the poker scene at the bar. Just, like, you a vicious little fucker. But Billy takes the opportunity, since they're all distracted by the weirdness of the movie, to blow them up. And I think it's very creative how he does it. He just goes to the boiler room, fucking turns the boiler on, lights a fire, and tries to run out. But unfortunately, as they're running out, the film reel runs out, and I'm surprised the Gremlins didn't destroy it. Because, before they started the movie, you look at them in the projecting booth, and they're just covered in the fucking movie film. Like, they're just covered in that shit. So, for one, those guys are very flammable. And second of all, I'm surprised they were able to watch that entire scene without any issues of Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. But because they ran out of reel, they see them, and then we get of course, the iconic shot where they're running up towards the white screen, and then they're clawing through it and trying to rip open to chase after them. And as they're running, they go outside, they go in the back alley, they close them up, and of course we get the epic, cool, big-ass explosion we all love, because Steven Spielberg's always gotta have explosions somewhere in his movies. Don't ask me why, he just does. At least he's not as bad as Michael Bay, though. Michael Bay needs an explosion in every scene. Not just every movie, every scene. Like, every scene's gotta have an explosion somewhere. But Steven Spielberg, he's gotta have at least one explosion in every movie. Think about that. Like, seriously, think about that. But, once, they take care of the rest of the gremlins, of course we see Stripe, who's coming out of the candy store with all the candy, and he witnesses all his brothers and sisters, or brothers. Actually, here's a good question, guys. Here's a good question. What do the gremlins identify as? We know they dress like girls, and we know they dress like guys. And they're asexual creatures. So is it their own, like, idealization? Like, how they feel? Were they progressive? Were they woke? Okay, now this is getting too meta now. This is getting too fucking real now. These gremlins are too smart. They're too smart. But yeah, now that's actually a good question. Like, what do they identify as? I mean, we get the, according to the book for the movie, that they were aliens. But do they identify as a certain gender, or is just how they fucking feel? Like, today I feel like being a girl. Tomorrow I might be a dragon. I'm not sure. In the second one of them turned into a spider, yes. But, yeah, no, that's a good question. I'm gonna have to look into that. I really gotta look into that. What do the gremlins identify as? Like, it's not important. It really isn't important. Like, no one gives a fuck what they identify as. They're gremlins. They're little monsters. Who cares? I'm just curious, to be perfectly honest. I'm just curious about the whole situation. But hopefully, we learn a little bit more about them if they actually make the prequel series I heard about. Again, guys, let me just make one more announcement. While doing my research, I found out that Joe did come up to Warner Bros. And says, I want to make a prequel series for HBO Max. So, maybe, if COVID didn't fuck it up, maybe we're lucky. We might get a prequel series that could explain who the Mogwai are, where they came from, why they're here, blah, blah, blah. Hopefully. It's animated, though. I don't know, that might work. That might work, to be honest. That actually might work. I may not have an issue with that. I'm gonna have to see some final viewing of it, to be honest. Animated, though. They might be able to could do some cool effects and shit that they couldn't do with live action. But, oh, excuse me. But anyway, so Billy and them chase after Stripe, who goes into the fucking convenience store. And this is where we basically have the showdown at the department store. And, yeah, Secret of the Mogwai. Like I said, I knew about that, but I just don't know if he actually is going to do it. I know that he talked about it in 2020, but then I know COVID hit, and, it threw a lot of movie productions off their schedules, so I don't know if it's something they still want to do. I hope it is, because I would be interested myself to see if they decide to stick with the movie script, or the book movie, or do something new to explain a little bit more. No matter what, as long as there's a reasonable explanation behind what the fuck a Mogwai is, I don't care. As long as it's a good show, I don't care. And as long as we get to see little Gizmo be cute with his little toe beams, I don't care. But we get to the department store, and of course Billy wants to go head-on-head with Stripe, and Kate takes Gizmo, and she's trying to turn all the lights on so they can at least have an upper hand, because they're smart, unlike the science teacher, to turn on the lights. Which, again, as a scientist, you would honestly think that he would be smarter than a fucking, 20-year-old over here. Because, she's 21, 22 or something like that? I know Billy's friend said he was 23. So, Billy's probably roughly around the same age as well. But, Billy goes to take Stripe on head, and he gets his fucking ass kicked. I'm not gonna lie, he gets his ass kicked by a little gremlin. But, a little fun fact I saw is while Billy's walking down the toy section and you see Stripe come out from behind the plushies, if you look at the plushie, Stripe is hiding behind Bully. It's fucking E.T. He ain't wearing the red hoodie that he's known for, but it's the green one. But it's fucking E.T. I was looking at it like, damn it, Steven, you already thinking about that shit in the future. Because, with the whole movie, the movie titles you see in the opening of the movie, on the movie theater billboard, those were all straight up just rough estimates of what he wanted to call E.T. And you know how Steven Spielberg is. He's got to throw references somewhere about his movies everywhere when he gets a chance. But I just thought that was pretty cute. The little E.T. plushie was adorable. But, Billy's got this bat. And he goes to fight out Stripe. And Stripe gets the upper hand by basically hitting this poor dude with a fucking flying baseball in the back. Which, I have to say, that probably fucking hurt. I've never been hit with one of those things, but it looks like it hurts. I've been hit with a baseball before. That shit left a big ass welt, so I wonder what a machine would do. His poor kidneys probably shut down when he got hit. E.T. was 82? Oh, I thought E.T. was after fucking Gremlins. Yeah, the point is though, Steven Spielberg still stated that though. That apparently the movie titles he had for the movie theater were draft names he had for E.T. And the little E.T. plushie is definitely an E.T. plushie, just in a green jacket instead of the red one. Product placement. That's Steven Spielberg right there. Product placement for his own movies. But yeah, I apologize. I thought E.T. came at N85. But, like I said, Billy gets his ass kicked with the baseballs. His kidneys probably shut down because of that baseball. And then here's something I've never noticed until this latest viewing. When Stripe is attacking Billy, he's got, a crossbow and a little chainsaw, right? Emphasis on the little part. I'm talking about, like, doll size. So this brings up a good question. What action figure, toy, small child is playing with a crossbow that actually shoots very strong and painful arrows? Think about that for a second. The Gremlins at one point, I think would be about like, probably as big as my camera length that they're standing up. But the fact that he's got a little crossbow, it's just adorable, but it actually shoots and it hurts. That's the funny part. It makes you think, where did he get this crossbow at? And then the little chainsaw. Oh my god, the little chainsaw was fucking adorable. I'm sorry, the little chainsaw was cute. It just comes out. Again, who's got this fucking tiny ass chainsaw? Like, I can actually pick up a bigger chainsaw than that. So don't tell me that's for a woman. And I don't see a kid just running around with a fucking chainsaw. And this bitch is real because it nearly destroyed Billy's bat. And it was fucking almost wheeling it down. Stephen King's The Old One is actually a female prey. Oh yeah, it's been a minute since I read that one. Or watched that one, I should say. Yes, I forgot to mention that about Deputy Brent, but he is from Breaking Bad. It's God, and his partner, he's also well known and famous. I forgot to write down the cops' names. Like, I wrote down everybody else's but the cops, because I'm gonna be honest, guys. Digress for a second. The cops were completely useless in this whole movie. Like, I'm not gonna lie, they were completely fucking useless. Like, Billy goes to them in the middle of the movie, right after the pool scene, and tries to tell them this, and of course they're making fun of the rules, oh, look at him, his little army, he's so cute, what's he gonna do? And then they start getting the phone calls about the fucking, Gremlins attacking, and then God bless this man. Santa Claus gets attacked, right? And these cops sit there and watch this man struggle with these fucking gremlins, and they're just like, isn't that what's his name? Who always plays Santa? Yeah. Should you go help the man? Step the fuck out of the car, maybe? You got a gun, officer. Use it. But no, they get spooked by the little gremlins, and they take the fuck off, and then they flip the car and shit, which I call that karma. I call that fucking karma. Those little bitches. Like, seriously, that poor guy's being attacked, and they're just like, huh. Well then, that's something you don't see every day. Again, questions, guys. Questions nobody asks. Like if I saw that shit, I'll be freaking the fuck out. If I was just like driving by and I saw like my neighbor being attacked by a goddamn gremlin, I'd be like, oh fuck, I'd be taking the fuck off, leaving town. Forget my shit. No offense, Maxie. Forget my dog. Just take the fuck off. Be calling Eric. Just don't go to Thomaston, man. Don't do it. Don't fucking do it. Just like, god damn it, man. Why don't people ask these questions or even have any kind of concern? But, you know, but the cop's completely fucking useless, so we don't get to see him for the rest of the movie after they flip their car. They're okay, though. Everybody's okay. I don't know how many people actually died from the gremlins, but they weren't any of the few that died, I don't think. But, Billy, you know, after getting his ass kicked, Kate finally gets all the lights on, so it distracts, Stripe long enough for him to be taken off by the chainsaw, which that was fucking adorable. The fact that he fell back and then the chainsaw was still going, so it drug him across the room until it unplugged, and then he smacked his fucking head. Funny as shit. And then we got the cutest little scene ever. A lot of people like to argue about this scene because of the fact that it doesn't make any sense, but I'm like, this is the moment. This is one of my fourth wall breaking moments. I want to look at the audience and go, this is the thing that y'all have a problem with, that y'all not asking any other questions. This is the questions y'all asking, but it's the scene where Gizmo gets into the little toy car. People are like, well, how the hell did he make it go? Does it drive on gas? Does it have a gas pedal? How is he driving it? All I know is Gizmo is cute as a button, driving that little car with his little sound effects going, with the movie going on in his head. He's just, and then, and then of course Randall comes back into town, and he's seeing the chaos, and then of course the dog jumps out, goes to the department store, and Gizmo runs to the little dog, and he barks at him. He just goes woof woof, and then just keeps going. That damn dog looks so confused. It's like, Jesus Christ, man. But yeah, little Gizmo is driving around, and I just find it adorable. I just find, like, I don't ask the questions of how he's able to drive this car. I just want to know why I don't have one. Why don't I have a toy Gizmo in a little toy car? I would be driving that little bitch with a little stick and everything, just like adorable. But eventually, Gizmo, you know, he's trying to help Billy out, and Billy at this point, he's again got his ass beat. He got his fucking ass beat by a fucking gremlin, and he goes to the garden where, for some reason, they have a beautiful fountain centerpiece in this garden section, which, again, I get department stores have a lawn and garden section, but that lawn and garden section was a lawn and garden section I have never seen in my life. Like, it was just plants. Like, not even, it didn't even look like plants you could buy. It just looked like a set plant. You know, like something you see in, like, a fake greenhouse or some bullshit. And I'm just like, why is this a thing? Like I can understand there was, like, price tags on the plants, or there's fucking, like, soil or grounds or tools being sold, but no, it looks like an actual just fucking greenhouse. But, you know, Stripe finds the fountain, and of course we get the scene where he finds the gun too. This man's carrying the gun everywhere. For some reason, Stripe's that violent. He likes his guns. But he sees the fountain, he takes a shot at Billy, and he sticks his hand in. Of course, we have the beautiful, like, moment where he's like, almost like he's about to come. I'm not gonna lie. He looks very happy. He looks too fucking happy to find water. Just, like, bro, chill, it's just water. You're about to make another army. You're good, man. But Gizmo comes flying on in, and off a little shovel, and of course he crashes his little car. There's a little puff of smoke. And he goes, bright lights, and then fucking clicks the shutters. And poor little Gizmo, he gets shot at by Stripe, and he gets thrown up into the air, and the fucking lights come beaming down on Stripe. And we get this really amazing effect of him just melting. Just fucking melting. And if I also may add, in Gremlins 2, it was done funnier with him melting. I'm not gonna lie, with that one gremlin who copied the Wicked Witch of the West with the little hat and all. It was cute. But in this movie, it's kind of terrifying. That might be an idea. That definitely might be an idea. By, a fucking toy car, Mokocho toy car Gizmo. That would be cute. But, we get this, like, really cool effect, though. A really cool effect. And I get the special effects, and makeup artistry and puppeteers. Another round of applause, guys. Round of a fucking applause. Because without you guys, we wouldn't have the coolest fucking movements of these puppets ever. Like, this, it was just well done. But, Stripe's fucking melting, and then he falls into the pool, and then the skeleton of Stripe comes popping on out, and then we get the bubble effect on his back, and then just see him kind of die out, which I like that. I really like the whole, from him melting onto him dying out to like a puddle of gooey ooze, basically. It's really, really done well. And I have to say, for a movie that came out back in the 80s, like early 80s, it is done really, really well. And it holds up really, really, really well. I have to say that about I think there's one or two scenes, and again, I want to say it's because of the animation at the time. Again, I'm not sure if it was shot claymation style, but again, it's the scene when the group of gremlins all show up in the town, and we're watching them walk, and the scene when they're attacking the theater, and they're clawing through the theater thing, the theater screen. Those are a little off-putting because, again, I want to say it was stop motion. I could be wrong. It just could have been some weird animation. But those are the only things that don't really hold up too terribly well. I mean, again, it's not bad. It's not bad at all. So don't make it seem like it's a bad early 2001 movie. Don't get me wrong. It ain't that bad. But it's still a little off-putting compared to a lot of the fluid movements and other effects you see from, like, the pods, the gremlins, the mogwais themselves. It's, just a little off-putting, but about 99% of it, though, really fucking good, really holds up extremely well, and I love the effects. And who did the effects again? I don't think I have the special effects guy. No, I just got the guy who designed the Gremlins, which again is Chris Wales. We love you, man. We love you. You did a good job. You did a good job. But, once Stripe dies, everything kind of goes back to normal. Air quotes around that. Not really normal. It's just people dealing with the aftermath. And they get home and they're taking care of Gizmo. They're mending their wounds. Again, nobody's asking questions about any of this shit. Just Gremlins attacked. Little green men. Like, it's all over the news. Like, granted, though, I don't think anybody would believe them. So why the Gremlins based on the same year date? Real? Were they? Did not know that. Huh. That could explain why they played Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, though. Apparently, Snow White, maybe. Again, we're not quite sure. Snow White and the Gremlins are based on the same year date. 1937. What year, quote unquote, is the movie supposed to be in? Is it set in like the 84 when the movie actually came out? Or is it set in a different time frame? I don't know. But we have this whole, beautiful little moment where you think it's all this beautiful, happy, wonderful moment. And then, unfortunately, the little Chinese guy comes back, and he's kind of angry. Randall's just like, oh, this is the guy I bought the Mogwai from. Bought, yeah. And he drops the money. Again, man, $200 for an alien. I think that was a steal. And he technically didn't steal it either. The little boy, his nephew, gave him the fucking Mogwai. So technically, if you should be mad at anybody, you should be mad at your grandson. He's the one who sold him the Mogwai, okay? May have been re-released. Okay. So it is set in 84, but it was re-released around 87 for the Snow White thing. Okay. That's kind of cool information. That's actually cool information. But of course, the little Chinese guy, though, like I said, he should be mad at his grandson, but he takes kind of out on Randall. And he's just like, looks at the television. Now, this is the thing that blew my mind, too. The guy looks at the television, looks at everybody, looks at Gizmo, and then just goes, huh, you let him watch TV. Appalling. Like, bro, it just happens to be on. They didn't let him watch it. He's just being taken care of, and the TV's on. Like, don't get mad at Gizmo. Don't get mad at Randall either. Again, blame your son, or your grandson, I should say. Actually, blame your son for raising your grandson that way. I feel like this is a generational problem between you and your son and your grandson. But, of course, he chastises them. I told you, Mugwai's, great responsibility when it comes to them, and y'all failed. And so, of course, he's got to take them back. And we all see the sadness on everybody's face. Just, it's just, I don't want to lose Gizmo. And, of course, everybody says their tender goodbyes. And it's so cute, and it's so sad. But they say little tender goodbyes, and the cutest goodbye is still when, the old man's about to walk out. And real quick, though, if I may add a little funny bit to this. So, Randall, throughout this movie, I forgot to mention this, but Randall throughout this movie, the reason why he's not in a lot of this movie is because he's out of town at a invention convention. Try to say that 5 times fast. But he's at a invention convention, and it's a little fun fact. Steven Spielberg is actually in this scene when he's on the phone with his wife. I think it's the guy to the left of Randall in the phone booth. That's Steven Spielberg. That's Steven fucking Spielberg. He had to be in a cameo in his own movie. But that's why Randall's not in the movie all too terribly much. He's kind of being put to shame because, he thinks he's got like this cool invention, the bathroom buddy is what he calls it. But then you see like a guy walking with a fucking robot, and he's like, yeah, competition's a little tough. A little tough. Like, bro, that's a walking, talking robot, and you got a bathroom buddy. You ain't winning, bro. And, at one point, he's driving home, and he ends up selling his smokeless ashtray to a convenience store guy, or a gas station guy. And then, funny enough, when the Chinese man comes to pick up Gizmo, Randall's like, hey man, listen, I'm sorry, as a token of how sorry I am, here, take my smokeless ashtray. And he's just like, oh, man at gas station tried to sell me one. Yes, the little robot, by the way, it's actually Robbie from Lost in Space, and I think they even make a joke about it at some point when he calls back again, and you see it's all in the background, but you see like a little puff of smoke, and people trying to look to see where he's at, and it's so fucking adorable, and it's just crazy to see all the sci-fi references throughout that just one scene alone. But again, Steven Spielberg, man. But basically, I digressed a little bit, but back on track. When the Chinese man goes to walk out, Gizmo, he knocks on the door or the little box and tells him, hey, I want to at least tell Billy bye. And he's like, Billy, he wants to say something to you, and they open up the box. And we get the cutest goodbye. This is the cutest, just bye, Billy. Like, just so cute. Like, oh my god. I wanted to cry. As a kid, I was crying because I was just like, you can't take Gizmo away from Billy. He loves Gizmo. Yes. I said that earlier. He's a famous country singer who unfortunately passed it in 99. But, I just find that interesting. He was a famous country singer. Then he became an actor. I want to say I've heard some of his songs. I can't think of any of them on the top of my head, to be honest. I'm not really big into country. My mom might know a little bit more about that, but I was never big into country music. But, again, we end the movie with, the little Chinese guy walking with Gizmo, and they're talking to each other, and we get that beautiful painted backdrop of the town, Christmas lights, and we get the voiceover that was added on at the end of the movie of Randall going, well, that's how the story was, or how it's been told. So if you ever have a problem, if your dryer starts acting up, if something happens, remember, turn on the lights, because it might be a gremlin. And you know, then of course it cuts to the iconic theme song of the movie, which again, the composer, great fucking job, man. But again, the dude, yet again, I know I have his name, Jerry Goldsmith, amazing composer. He's done so much work over the years, especially with Steven Spielberg, especially working on movies like Poltergeist with him. Does an amazing job. And it almost feels like a John Williams kind of score to a degree, but he uses a lot of synth waves, which I like because it adds a kind of very different variants of composing music, which we don't get to see a lot of synth wave nowadays, you know. But back in the 80s, synth wave was all the rage, all the fucking rage. So it was kind of nice to see synth wave done in a Christmas movie, a Christmas horror movie. Which, yet again, guys, I'm sure the movie was a full-on horror movie like they originally wanted to do. I'm sure it would have been fucking terrifying, to be honest. Like, that would have probably made me shit my pants as a kid. Because, again, it blows my mind that they wouldn't have this whole scene where Gizmo as Stripe decapitates the mom. Like, Jesus Christ, what the fuck were you thinking when you wrote that? And then the fact that he wanted to kill the dog makes it even worse. Like, what did the dog do? We had to get the dog out of the movie to protect him from the movie. But like I said, it ends with the theme song that's top notch. I agree, 100% top notch composing there. But I still enjoy this movie. It's been a couple of years since I've seen this movie. Again, guys, I don't know why, but these last like 2-3 years, I haven't watched it for Christmas, but before that, I watched it every Christmas. It was one of those to-go movies I always pick to watch on Christmas because I love my horror movies, and I love my seasonal horror movies. Like, any movie that could be based around a certain holiday, if done correctly, it's really fun to watch. It's really, really fun, and I love it when they can really add the Christmas one because horror movies and Christmas really don't go together very well because of the fact that, you know, Christmas is supposed to be joyful and fun and happy, and horror movies are scary. And this is one of those situations where opposites do attract to each other. Adding a joyful scenery with a scary story is really, really good in the writing. And when done correctly, it can be really fun. When done incorrectly, it could be really stupid and really boring. We're not going to mention any names. 2019 Black Christmas. I'm sorry, there was something caught in my throat there. It's my bad, guys. But the point is, if done correctly, a good Christmas horror movie, even with a touch of comedy. That's something I've noticed about a lot of Christmas horror movies. They don't try to go full horror. They still try to keep it a little lighthearted, especially with the PG-13 categories. And they try to, you know, add a lot of fun jokes, sense of humors and stuff. It's very rare I find a horror Christmas movie that's full-on horror. I think there was... God, I think there's only been one on the top of my head that I can think of, and that's Silent Night, Deadly Night. That and the remake of it. Like, that's the only movie I can think of that went full fucking horror on a Christmas. Like, Jack Frost never did that, and that was a fucking horror Christmas movie. But that was so fucking funny. Like, I'm not even gonna lie. Like, a killer snowman? A fucking killer snowman. And they did that shit just so funny. Just I couldn't take that movie serious. I still watch that movie and laugh my ass off, but it ain't a scary movie at all. Krampus, that again, that's not really a full horror movie. That's more of a comedy horror. But I really like Krampus, and I like Gremlins too. And I've said it once, I'll say it again. I'm not an overly huge fan on comedy horrors because it's more of a comedy with horror themes. And it's not really like that ha-ha to me. Like, there's a lot of slapstick, a lot of like in-your-face meta jokes, and it never really gets my attention, if that makes sense. Now, there are a handful of comedy horrors I love, like Tucker and Dale versus Evil. That's just fucking hilarious. That shit's fucking hilarious. But there's a lot of comedy horrors that aren't that good to me. Like, a lot of people are like, oh, I love this movie. And I'm just like, no, it's a good comedy, don't get me wrong. I know a lot of comedy horror movies like that. And there's only one comedy horror that there's just too funny. And I'm not going to mention his name because a certain actor was in it that's in this chat right now. But, yeah. That was a good comedy. But I say, if you've never seen Gremlins, definitely check it out. I mean, I'm surprised if you haven't seen Gremlins at this point. It's a well-known creature feature film. Especially for the 80s. 80s was big for horror movies. That's something I've learned over my years, was 80s was like the prime time for horror, and that's when it started really experimenting a lot with horror. And at that point, I don't think there was a lot of Christmas horror movies that came out. I think we had the original Black Christmas in the late 70s. I think it was, 78, 79? Might be a little bit earlier, maybe 76, 77. I think it might be 77. Not sure. I'm gonna have to look that up. Deer Camp 86 is the best. Man, I can't say anything on that because I haven't seen it yet, bro. Like, I haven't seen it. I want to. Which, by the way, shameless plug-in, guys. Check out Deer Camp 86 if y'all can. I don't know where you can watch it at. But if you get a chance, definitely look it up. A buddy of mine's in this movie, and he gives it rave reviews. And no, it's not biasness. Trust me, he's been in some movies that he doesn't like talking about. Return of the Scarecrow. I'm sorry, did I hear something? Got a little something in my ear. Hang on. But yes, guys, definitely check that movie out. I myself can't wait to see it. I hope it gets picked up by a good company and we can eventually watch it in its full entirety. But no, guys, this is one of my favorite Christmas horror movies. It's not the favorite. Again, I hate to say it, the favorite. No, wait, I take that back. No, this is the favorite. My other favorite one, of course, is Krampus. But this is the ultimate favorite childhood Christmas horror movie. Because for some reason, after it came out, they played it a lot on television, especially around Christmas. I saw it a lot around Christmas, especially Gremlins 1 and 2. Like, they always played them back to back, and I can always appreciate that. And my mother didn't mind me watching that, especially to the PG-13. Granted, I shouldn't have been watching it, because I was like, I think roughly 9. Maybe, yeah, about 8, 9 years old. But at that point, for me, as fucked up as this sounds, I've already watched Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street, The Changeling, Halloween. Now, I've already watched all the big mega, the movies that are supposed to scare the shit out of you at this point. So when I came into Gremlins, I wasn't even that scared. I enjoyed it through and through, and I still enjoy it as an adult. And then, once again, guys, everything holds up well. The writing, the music, the puppeteering, the effects, just everything about this movie. It's just a wonderful, wonderful Christmas movie. And I highly do recommend this. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. And if you have seen it, watch it. You pop it in with the family. As long as they're not... to be honest, I think even little kids nowadays could actually watch this movie. And I'm not talking about like 4 or 5-year-olds now, don't get me wrong. But I do believe 8, 9-year-olds could sit down and enjoy this movie. I mean, it's not super horrific here. It's not like it's overly crowded. Like, there's creepy elements, don't get me wrong. Like the whole scene when the mom's going up to check on the pods in the attic in Billy's room. And the kitchen fight scene. Those are creepy. Those are very, very creepy. And then, of course, the pool scene. That one's kind of creepy, too. But overall, I think, especially nowadays, children can handle this. Children can handle this type of movie and should be fine. Now, again, not little kids, though. So don't subject your 5-year-old to this movie, because it is PG-13 for a reason. But I have noticed that PG-13 and rated R have definitely changed from what they were in the 80s and 90s. Like, I don't even think that... I don't know if it's PG or PG-13 anymore that they don't have, but I think it's PG. I don't think we have any kind of PG movies anymore. And we don't have MC-17 movies all that much anymore either. So the MPA changes dramatically over times. And especially in the 80s, they were very heavy on horror movies. Like, they were very, fist on hammer against horror movies. Like, oh god, which Friday the 13th was it? There were several of them. Several of the Friday the 13th almost didn't get released. Several of them had to do a whole bunch of edits, and I want to say it was the 5th one? The 4th or 5th? The 5th one, not the 4th one. 4th one, I think, gave the MPA a fucking heart attack, and I think that's why they had to pull it back for the 5th one. But the fifth one was so butchered by the MPA, it's just bad. I mean, the fifth one's bad for other reasons, but the MPA raked it across the coal. Like, they were just like, no, Jason, take it back. You ain't that violent. And it's like, no, Jason's not violent, but not this Jason, apparently. But yeah, MPA, they had to add their 2 cents in and make PG-13 for this movie. Thanks to this movie and one other movie, we had the PG-13, which I really don't see all that much nowadays. Actually, no, I take it back. I see more PG-13 movies than I do PG movies. So I want to say it is PG movies we no longer actually have. I think in the last 10 years, there might have been one movie, and maybe, that's a maybe. I'm not even 100% guaranteed about this fact, but I think there's been one PG movie I've seen in like 10 fucking years. Since then, it's been a good fucking minute. But yeah, I suggest, if you haven't watched it though, go ahead, watch it. If you have watched it, already rewatch it. It's the Christmas season. 'Tis the season for some scary gremlins, you know? But yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed this one. I've always enjoyed this one. This one has to be hands down one of my favorite Christmas horror movies. I grew up with this one. It's adorable. If I could ever get my hands on an actual gremlin, that would be great. Or, sorry, Mogwai, not gremlin. I want to say the closest I got was, it was either Hot Topic or Spencer's. I can't remember. But my mother bought me this. It was a little animatronic of Gizmo, and he sat down, and basically when you turn his button on, he would sing his little theme song, and he would move back and forth just like he did in the movie. And that thing was like $40 fucking dollars, and I loved that little thing. Unfortunately, that was one of the many things my asshole of a stepbrother destroyed when I was a teenager, because the guy's a little fucktard. Every pun intended. He's just an asshole. He's just a fucking asshole. But yeah, I used to have one. I really wish I can get one. I know Build-A-Bear has a Gizmo, but I'm gonna be honest, I've looked at that thing and I kind of want it, but then I kind of don't, because it doesn't look like Gizmo. And I want to say it's the eyes. There's something about the eyes. Eric pointed it out that it's because it doesn't have any eyelids, so it doesn't look like Gizmo. So I'm going to definitely have to scour the internet and see if I can ever find a collectible Gizmo. I mean, hell, if I could find the fucking PS2 chainsaw controller for Resident Evil 4, I'm sure I can find me a toy Gizmo somewhere. But I'm going to go ahead and end this beautiful podcast here. Let me think. I'm not sure what I'm going to do next week. There's a couple of movies I want to do. Of course, I want to do the original Black Christmas. I love that movie. It's my second favorite Christmas movie of all time, Christmas horror movie of all time, because that movie set the bar for a lot of movies to come. And I will discuss that at some point, so I might do Black Christmas next week. If not, I might do it closer to Christmas. I'm not sure if I want to do it next week or closer to Christmas. And I do know I want to do Jack Frost, even though I was just dogging on that movie. I do want to talk about that movie because it's just B-movie slop. It's just B-movie slop. It's so bad that it's good. I'm gonna be honest, that's how I view that movie. It's so bad that it's good. If you haven't seen that movie, I'm gonna talk about it, and I'm gonna talk about why it's so bad that it's good. And if you do know, you know the scene I'm talking about that makes it so bad that it is good. It's just a very weird scene. Very, very weird scene that asks a lot of questions that I don't really want to know the answer to. So, it'll either be Black Christmas or Jack Frost. And I'm not sure if I want to do another movie or if I want to do a video game one next. Because there is a Christmas horror game. Oh God, what was it called? I saw Markiplier play it, and I saw Jacksepticeye play it. It's basically you're a kid who ends up sneaking down into your basement and opening your Christmas present early, and it's like a Furby knockoff. I forget what, Tattletale, that's it, that's the name of the game, Tattletale. And you have to take care of this fucking Tattletale while running from the mom Tattletale, who's trying to kill you. I don't know. I have to see how the schedule plays out. I do know at some point as well, I'm gonna be doing my 10-hour Christmas stream. I know I haven't been on point with my gaming streams recently, but it's been some fuck shootery going on at my house that I just need to take a break, especially with how my job's going right now. So I just needed kind of a break from gaming. I still do game. Like I said, I still have my videos on YouTube, especially when I did The Devil in Me. I couldn't miss that opportunity. And of course, Disney Dreamlight Valley and several DVD matches and shit. I still do post stuff on there, but I will be getting back into game streaming. I think I'll be doing it Wednesdays and Fridays. We'll have to see how the bitrate holds up, but yeah. Hopefully, I'll be able to do that. If I don't start that soonish, it will be for my 10-hour Christmas stream. I will be bringing that back, guys, for sure. I'm sorry I missed my anniversary stream for my 2 years on Twitch. Again, the bitrate just wouldn't allow it. Like, it was just some crazy fuck shit going on. And unfortunately, I didn't stream for my birthday either, but I was having a very shitty birthday to begin with, so that's fine. But, yeah, I think that's how the rest of the schedule's going to play out. And then, of course, next year, I got several movies coming up. I definitely want to review several TV shows as well, mainly a lot of TV shows. The Haunting of Hill House is one of them. I want to talk about Wednesday, because me and Eric just got done watching that, and I fucking love that TV show. I fucking love that TV show. It is amazing. The girl who plays Wednesday is super cute and adorable in that, and she really plays Wednesday very, very well, and I want to talk about it. Of course, I want to talk about Gremlins 2 and several other movies. So next year, there's going to be a lot. I'm going to bring back the gaming for sure, and we're still going to get the podcast. Now, I will say, guys, with the podcast, I am putting these all on Anchor. As you notice, I haven't been highlighting them. I haven't posted them on YouTube or anything. It's because I'm putting them on Anchor. So if you want to watch the podcast or re-listen to the podcast again, you either go to Anchor or Spotify, and it should be on there. There will only be a handful of them that are subscription-based. So it's mainly a lot of my video games and TV ones. So if you want to relive those beautiful moments and listen to my thoughts and input on other movies, TV shows, and games, I highly suggest checking out my Spotify and my Anchor. Definitely gonna see how all that plays out. Should do one on Stranger Things. Maybe. My problem with Stranger Things, it's not very horror. Like, it's a good show, don't get me wrong, but it doesn't feel very horror. Like, there's a lot of monster qualities to it, but it's more action and nostalgic feel of the 80s. So, I don't know. I'll have to mull that over, think about it, because I do love Stranger Things. My sister loves Stranger Things, and I think it'll be a fun episode to talk about. Granted, though, that's a lot of seasons to go through. That's a lot of fucking seasons. And we're still waiting on the 5th season, but I digress, guys. But I done rambled on long enough. So like I said, guys, if you want to check out the podcast, it will be on Anchor, because once it's done once it runs out of time on my Twitch, it's gone. It's gone forever. It ain't coming back. I will have personal copies, but I will not be getting that back out. Those would be kind of saved for in case something shall happen, kind of thing. But if you want to watch the podcast, check out the Anchor. It's definitely there. But we're going to go ahead and end the stream here. I hope everybody who has watched, is watching, will watch. I hope you enjoy. I hope everybody has a fantastic and a wonderful night. And whatever you're listening this on, whatever you're watching this on, I hope y'all have a fantastic and a wonderful night. And I will see y'all next week with episode 8, where I'm not sure. Like I said, I will be discussing it, whether or not it will be Black Christmas or Jack Frost. Either one of those. We'll find out. But that's a story for another day. So until then, my friends, y'all take care. But real quick, before we go, for us who are watching visually, I have something for y'all. Oh, God damn it, I got it way on the top shelf here. Alright. Like I said, guys, I actually have an action figure from the Gremlins. Unfortunately, he ain't my favorite one, but he is the one from the movie theater. I wish it was either Stripe. Actually, it might be Stripe. Yeah, this is Stripe. Yeah, it's a Stripe. But I wish it was the Flasher, to be honest. I want the Flasher one. I love that Flasher one. Unfortunately, I don't have the Spotify link just up yet, man. I will be getting that, but we can discuss that later. But like I said, guys, until then, my friends, y'all take care.